Thanks so much for being here. Hello, my name's Jerry Foster. Very excited to have you here on our Solavei training webinar for the Success by Design group. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. We've got a great group here. In fact, I think this might be a new all-time high water mark for the team for getting on the webinar. If you can hear my voice, go ahead and chime in on the chat panel. Let's make sure we've got a good audio working. Fantastic. And also want to make sure you've got that control panel open. You got to hit the orange arrow to open it up. Do so. Let's make this very interactive. As you know, that's where you go to chime in with your questions. Very good. Loud and proud, Lee says. Very good. Appreciate all the hellos and the greetings and the warm sentiments. And appreciate you being flexible. We made a quick change, obviously. I really wanted to get as many of you on here live as possible for the Q&A, and so we did postpone from our regular Monday slot because of the holiday until today, Tuesday. So I hope you came geared up and ready to roll. You got your pen, you got your paper, you're ready to take notes, you're ready to ask a lot of questions. Give me some comments. Good job. Kim chimes in and says that Tyler got his Solavei Bank of America debit card today. Woohoo! That is great. Chime in there on the chat panel if you've gotten yours as well. Donald says, me too. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. And Jolene says she got hers, and Roy got his, and Rihanna got hers. And oh, wow, they're going by so fast I can't even Stephanie got mine, she says. Jeff got mine today too. Awesome. Well, very good, very good. Well, I'm surprised you didn't light up my phone, some of you. That's fantastic that you got your card, and I haven't got mine yet. So don't feel bad if you haven't got yours yet. We're going to cover a few things here, very important, and we're going to probably take a bulk of the, Henry says he missed his FedEx delivery. Me too, Henry. I got a voicemail from FedEx, and they didn't even leave a message. This is FedEx, and she cut off, like she hung up or something. It was fine. So anyway, so that was probably what mine was too. I didn't think that it might be in the pay card. Okay, so we're going to go through, want to talk about the enrolling process and figure out where you're at, which group you fit into. I think I've identified 4 groups here that are on the webinar with us, so we'll go through that. Also want to take the time to have plenty of time for Q&A, so gear up with your questions and answers. Well, questions. Well, I don't know, maybe you'll be giving me some answers too. Good number of you rolling in here. Give you another second or two. Very excited about the announcement from Friday, as I'm sure all of you are as well. Okay, so make sure and keep your chat panel open. Appreciate those of you who are chiming in there. And that's going to be a great place for you to interact and certainly to ask questions. Okay, so let's talk about who's on this call right now. I think I've identified 4 possible groups of people on the call. Sandy says, what's the announcement? Well, we'll talk about that, Sandy, in just a second. Who is on this call? Well, the first group of people on this call, I think out of the 4 groups, would be those who have confirmed in the lane and they are enrolled in the Solavei community and signed up for the service. Congratulations. Awesome. We're going to cover what each of the 4 groups should be doing. Group number 2, you're confirmed in the lane before the 27th, but you're not yet enrolled. Okay. I'm going to talk about what you need to be doing. Group number 3, you confirmed in the lane after we switched buckets from bucket 1 to bucket 2. You've heard us talk about the bucket analogy. So you confirmed in the lane on the 27th or later, and you're not enrolled. And group number 4, you enrolled and signed up, but you're not confirmed in the lane. Now, some of you are saying, well, what? How can you be enrolled and signed up, but not confirmed in the lane? So we'll talk about that as well, and the action items for each group. Okay, so have you identified which group you're in? I want you to chime in on the chat panel. Let me hear from you. Which group are you in? Richard said he's in group number 5. Very good. All right. I'm looking for someone from group number 4. Damien's in group number 6, I think. We just identified a 6th group. All right. All right. Thanks for participating here. Sam says, no, Sam, I can't repeat that either. Some of you are pretty good at getting some good ones on there. Brad says he's in all the groups. Well, okay, Sybil. Which group are you in at this moment in time? Julio says he's not sure. He's in Puerto Rico. All right. Well, we'll bring up Puerto Rico here, Julio. Don't let me forget. Okay, group number 1. So you're enrolled and you're signed up for service. Fantastic. I know it was a fun process, and you might have even had to try a few times, and the system timed out maybe on you or whatever, but you got it done. And I hope you appreciate the person that helped you do that. Some of you I know did it all on your own, but a good number of you had your hand held and were walked through the process by your sponsor. And if you have walked someone else through the process, you appreciate the fact that they were able to help you. So what's next for group number 1? You've got to get all of your people enrolled. We know as a company that we have 65,000 people that said that they wanted to enroll and sign up for service with Solavei. And we know that a huge majority of those 65,000 have not yet signed up. So I want to take just a moment or two and talk about helping you get your people enrolled. Okay, so if you're in group 2, 3, or 4, pay close attention and take some notes on this, because you're going to be working through and getting your people enrolled as well. So getting your people enrolled. Well, we know the process. We know what to do to get your people enrolled. You know to go into your lane. And you have 3 buttons there. Let me switch that. You can see my browser window. So you have 3 buttons there. Button number 1, enroll yourself. Well, wait. You're in group number 1, so you're already enrolled. So you and I are in group number 1. So you can't enroll yourself anymore. You see that button's grayed out. So how do you get all your people in? Well, you click right here on button number 2, invite your lane. Now we're going to talk about button number 3, and some of you may be surprised that there is a button number 3 here in just a moment. Okay, so get your people out of your lane and get them enrolled. It's critically important that you do that right now. Now we're to the point now where I think we're past the point of holding people by the hand, every single person by the hand, and enrolling them individually. I think we're to the point now where you've got to put the check mark next to the box, and you've got to get the group enrolled. So if you have not done that, and you're going to have, different categories of people in your lane. that you're ready to get enrolled. Your quote unquote your big hitters, your top people, your people that have already enrolled a lot of people. Okay, yeah, you're going to want to obviously go through, and you're going to want to possibly hold them by the hand. Understood. Okay, certainly understand that. But the time for holding most people by the hand is gone. You've got to get them enrolled. You got to put the check mark next to their box. And let me pull it up here. I'm trying to protect people's anonymity here a little bit. Okay. So you click that checkbox right here next to their name. And then you're going to have your enroller's community username in there, and then their email address right there. So understand the process. When you check that box, let me change the color of the pin here so you can see it. We'll go Solavei purple. How's that? So when you check the box, understand what happens. They receive an email to this email address that's listed right there. I would send them a personal email as well, making yourself available to help them with the process. I wouldn't stop there. I would then, next step, I would call them on the phone. Ask them when's a good time to go through the process and get enrolled. Ask them if they need help with that process. You know, they're going fairly quickly. It can be done in as fast as 15 to 20 minutes if you really focus. Certainly it can take longer if there ends up being a lot of questions that get asked along the way. I know that many of us have spent certainly more than 20 or 30 minutes enrolling people. That can happen. But it's got to get done. It's got to be a huge priority. And you've got to get your people signed up, get them enrolled. So if you have questions about that process right there, go ahead and fire away. I know I normally take questions at the end, but I do want to take questions specific to where we're at. And so let me just open this up and see. Susan asks, what name are people using for their username, their real name, or made-up names? Well, Susan, I'm seeing a combination of both. Everyone that I help enroll, I'm recommending to them that they use their first and last name or some derivative of that. They might put a little something before or a little something after. But most people are using their first and last name. Now, John Smith is kind of, he's out of luck there, so got to put something else in. I see people using cutesy little nicknames or company names or whatever. That's great, but one of the things you got to understand in a business that's powered by relationships, the person you're trying to get enrolled may not know your little nickname or your company name. So if that's what it is, you've got to make sure and let them know, hey, this is me. You're going to see when it says who your sponsor is, your enroller, it's going to say who's he what's it mobile or whatever. So make sure they know that. Yeah, Michael says getting them to actually follow through is the challenge. It is the challenge, Michael. You're absolutely right. It's one thing to sign up in the lane and it doesn't cost anything. It's another to get them enrolled and signed up for service. I love the old saying, money on the wood makes a deal good. If there's no money on the wood, the deal's not good. Now, there are a few snags along the way. Overcome those snags as much as you can, and one of the snags is people are not ready to enroll. They're not ready yet. Well, listen, we've got the huge incentive, the huge announcement that went out to everybody in the form of the email with the video link to it that Ryan did, our CEO Ryan Wirch did on Friday, announcing free membership fee, waived membership fee, I guess you could say, until September the 10th, and free second month service. So that adds up to be $98 bonus. That's a $98 freebie. And, listen, I'm hearing some just really emotional thank yous and emails and text messages of gratitude I'm getting from people because they're saying, listen, that just didn't save me $100. I've got 4 phones in my family, 4 accounts. That saved me $400. So that's a huge incentive to people to get in and get going. Now, another huge plus that I'm not hearing talked about enough is the fact that you can start earning. You can start earning. You understand every single trio you enroll right now is working towards your fab. You enroll 3 people, that's a $50 fab, and of course $20 a month residual. Sign up another trio, another 3 people, that's a $100 fab and another 20. Sign up another trio, it's 200. Okay. Sign up another trio, it's 300. Okay, so that's a huge incentive. And understand that the fab bonus, the clock for the fab bonus, does not start ticking until we launch live. You may have noticed when you go into the Solavei community that it says that your fab bonus must be earned by, what's it say, November 20th, I think. That's a huge incentive for people to get in and get started now. Now, I will say this. One of the obstacles to people signing up, one of their excuses for delaying is the whole idea that they don't know which phone they're going to bring. They're going to bring a phone, but they're not sure which phone it's going to be. And I got to tell you, and you've heard me go on these rants about this before, listen, if you're talking to someone that's planning on building a business here, I mean, I'm not talking about someone that just wants cheap cell phone service. Someone that wants to build a business, it's time for them to invest in their business and buy a Solavei phone. Not because Solavei is going to make money on that. We sell the phones at cost. Not because you or I are going to make money on that, because the phones are sold at cost. They're not commissionable, okay? But because it is a marketing tool. It's an investment in their business. It's a $529 or a $259 or a $159 investment in their business. And let's face it, take $29 off of that because you're not paying for the SIM card there. So it's a $500 or a $230 or a $130 investment in your business. And the bottom line here is it's going to be so much simpler to make money with Solavei when you're using and talking about and bragging on the Solavei phone. That having been said, I'm talking to people and they say, listen, that sounds good and all, Jerry, but they say, I don't have the money to buy a phone right now. Well, that is, I believe, the only good excuse not to buy a phone right now. Don't tell me you're in love with the iPhone and you can't live without your iPhone. Carry 2 phones. I've carried 2 phones for 12 years. Don't tell me, I just bought a brand new Galaxy, this, that, or the other a month ago. Well, congratulations. Good news. That phone's got some value. If you don't put it in your pocket and keep using it and you want to sell it, it's got value there, okay? The idea here is you want to be using the Solavei phones. You want to be using the Solavei app on the phones to be enrolling people. You don't want to enroll people on the Solavei app using an AT&T phone, right? If someone just flat doesn't have the money right now, I understand. That's one of the reasons they're starting the business, obviously, is because money's tight. They obviously fit right in that target group that Ryan Wirch has talked about so eloquently, that the economically challenged people in the world today. That's the vision of Solavei, creating millions of thousandaires. Okay, so the stumbling block with those people to overcome is they may not have the phone. It's time to overcome that. It's time to get creative. It's time to think outside the box. And it's definitely time to overcome that objection. So let me help you with overcoming that objection. Now I'm flying without a net here because I've been told that this little trick works. So let's see if it works. All right. So let me give you my screen here. You can see my screen. I just Googled IMEI Samsung Galaxy. And actually, Google does the little fill-in. And you can Google to find an IMEI number, okay, for a phone. Listen, this is a little bit of a workaround. It's definitely a gray area. I'm just telling you right now, if you're allowing people to procrastinate, you're missing the boat. You've got to get them enrolled. You've got to get them signed up. The IMEI number accomplishes two things. Where's my pen? It accomplishes two things. One, is the phone compatible? We've got a long list of phones that we know are compatible. They can buy phones. Ryan gave the website on the webinar. I don't have it right here handy, where you can, you can find unlocked GSM phones. Just Google unlocked GSM phones, okay? So the IMEI number gives us two things. One, is the phone compatible? And two, which SIM should Solavei send? Should they send the micro or the regular size SIM? Because based on the IMEI number, that's going to tell them which size SIM to send. There are only two. So for example, I have right here a Samsung Infuse Android phone. It's unlocked. It's a GSM phone. It takes the full size SIM card. So the IMEI number on this Samsung Infuse, which you could Google to pick up, or I can just type in the *#06# and get it. That IMEI number tells our Solavei system, yes, this is a compatible phone, and ship out a full-size SIM card. If you take your HTC One S and you check the IMEI number on that phone, obviously it's going to say, yes, the HTC One S is compatible, and it'll send out a SIM card for the micro size, the smaller size, okay? All right, so that's thinking outside the box a little bit, but the idea here is to get in and get them enrolled. And if that is the reason they're not getting enrolled, is because they don't know which phone they're going to use, we got to overcome that. Okay, next for group number one is get everyone else enrolled. Everyone else enrolled. That's that third button. We're going to spend some time talking about that third button. Now, make sure you're paying attention here, taking notes, groups number 2, 3, and 4, because this stuff is all going to apply to you as well. Let me pull my lane back up. Lots of questions on this over the weekend and today on this option number 3 here, enroll everyone else. Now, if you haven't seen what happens, of course, you have to be enrolled to be able to use this feature. So if you're not yet enrolled, we're going to talk about getting you enrolled, all right? But when I click on that button, it automatically launches the sign-up process. Check the coverage for the zip code. Congratulations, you're covered. Next, we're off to the races here, okay? Purchase a phone or use your own phone. Now, we've been talking about the BYOP, which is the use your own phone option, right? Okay, let's say they want to purchase a phone, and let's say they are, cost conscious, and so they want to go with the ZTE Origin for $159. They click select, and they go through and the service plan. I want Solavei to assist me with a new number, or I want to use my existing number. Okay, Michael, going back to your question, getting them, or your comment, getting them to actually follow through is a challenge. I'm having people that are stalling out on this one right here because they think they want to port their number, but they haven't contacted their carrier yet. Okay, some of you may have seen my post in the Facebook group about porting your number. One of the things that we know is we've been told, Jim Ryan, head of product, put it right in the Solavei community, that you have, if you're going to port your number, it has to be done at the outset. Now, I've been absolutely slammed this weekend. I haven't been looking through to see if there's been a change for that. So if you've read a change to that policy, go in and let me see a comment that you read something about that, because I can tell you something that I've news that I'm privy to that hasn't been 100% confirmed yet. And I don't know if John Bristol is on, but if John is, chime in here, John. Jim Ryan has figured out a workaround so that you can port your number later. Now, that is not 100% confirmed yet. Maria Pinchevsky, head of members experience, wanted to do a beta test with a few people, and John Bristol volunteered to participate in that. And he says here he's still waiting to hear back on the beta test. Okay, thanks, John. So, so that is not official yet. It's not official, but I've been told that we will be able to port a number later. Again, this screen right here is a potential roadblock, because if they have not made arrangements with their carrier, then they may want to stop because they want to use their existing number and they want to port it over. I personally called AT&T about porting over one of my numbers, and if you may have read about this in the Facebook group, I had a great conversation with a very nice lady, Danielle, and after about 15 minutes, she agreed to waive the $205 cancellation fee on that number on an account for which I had several numbers. Okay, I'm not going to say you're going to have the exact same experience, but it is possible. She did explain to me how it works with AT&T. Okay, so when you check this box, I want to use my existing number. Solavei then is going to program your SIM card for porting over that number. And just so you know, if you haven't seen that screen, let me come out here, I'll change that. I want to use my existing number. You just put in the number, okay? And then it'll check the eligibility. Nothing has been done with your carrier at this point. Nothing's been done with your carrier until you put that new SIM card that Solavei is going to send you into your phone. At that point, according to Danielle at AT&T, what they do then is they terminate that line of service, and if there's a fee involved, they charge that fee for canceling the contract. So it is something that you want to work out ahead of time. And I will tell you this, I think it's a great idea to still continue with the strategy that I had talked about all along, which is don't port over the number. And let Solavei assign a new number. But again, if that's a snag in the sign-up process, if that's stalling them from getting signed up, you need to work through it. Again, it comes back to, are you in this to get cheap cell phone service? Or are you in this to launch a business? Because this is a serious business and people are going to make serious money. Okay, I'm turning to the question and answer panel. Ray says, could I summarize the conversation? Yeah, Ray, I said, I'm looking at porting this number over. Explain the situation to me, how it works. And she explained the situation. She said, well, as soon as you request the port from your other carrier, okay, then that's what they're going to do. They're going to turn off that line of service. She said, let me check. Oh, okay, it looks like your cancellation fee is $205. And I just was nice and friendly and just asked her, you know, is there anything you can do about that? Is there any adjustment possible on that? I just, you know, just nicely, I can't tell you exactly what I said, but I just kind of worked the situation a little bit. I didn't ask for a supervisor and her supervisor. I mean, the original lady, Danielle, that I got on the phone, agreed to waive that. Okay, so if you haven't been on the phone with your carrier, get on the phone with your carrier and find out how they handle it. Courtney asks, is there a chance that the previous carrier won't allow the porting? No, they'll allow it. They just may terminate your contract and charge you the fee. John, thank you. John chimes in here and he says, I've only had one person so far not want to port their number. And so it just depends upon your group. And John, you and I have talked about this at length. You're working with a group of people, and it's a little bit of a special situation, and they have to have that number. I think it's all about a big part of this is that you get exactly what you expect, and I expect that people could care less about it. And I have not had one person. Where's some wood? I'll knock on it. I've not had one person wait and stall at this process because that's a big deal to them, and because we're looking at this as a business. And a lot of people are planning to do exactly what I do, which is carry two phones for right now. Going through the questions here. No need to use all caps there. Bridget, I can read if it's not all caps. A lot of people need to keep the existing number. Tony says he's got to keep the existing number. Of course. So you've got a lot of options with keeping the existing number. One, forward that number to your new number. That's always a possibility. Two, port the number using Google Voice. Google Voice works brilliantly. I love, love, love Google Voice. Found a whole new way to use Google Voice today. I was on the phone with Rob McFadden teaching him about Google Voice, and we came up with a whole new way to use Google Voice. So you can always port to Google Voice as well. Joe wants to know how to import his contacts from the phone that he has. He has 600. Well, Joe, again, Google Voice, Google Sync, and you can sync that existing phone and those 600 contacts go into your Google account, and then you sync it back to the new phone, which is exactly what I did when I started using my HTC One S. I had all my contacts, everything transferred over in less than 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, so get everyone else enrolled. Now we're going to talk about here in a second what happens after they're enrolled, and that's group number 4. So we'll get back to them. All right, group number 1, take your focus off filling your lane. Okay, we've been so conscious about filling our lane. We now don't have to put someone in the lane. We can put them directly into the system. Okay, so let's talk about group number 2. Group number 2, your very important group. You comprise a majority of the people in the system right now. You are were confirmed in the lane before 8/27/12, but you're not enrolled. We still have over 50,000 people that fit this category. What's next for you? Get enrolled. Get enrolled. How do you get enrolled? This is amazing to me. I'm still having this conversation today with people that they're not enrolled and they don't know how to get enrolled. And this person I was talking to, I knew that they had the ability to get enrolled. All someone does is go to their lane. If you're not enrolled, log into your lane. You should see this enroll button right there. Okay? You should see that enroll button, and you're going to come right here, and you're going to click on enroll yourself. When you click on that button, enroll yourself, the next thing you're going to see is this screen, which is the first screen of the enrollment process. Now, I've actually created a set of screens that you can look at. We've put this in the Facebook group. All right, that's not it. If you remember what the shortcut, the bit.ly shortcut is, help me out and put it in the system. Let me see if I can find it real quick. If you haven't yet enrolled, you should grab these screens. There we go. There it is. I'm going to put it in the chat panel. It's a bit.ly, so bit.ly, and it's onboard screens 0901. Okay, so when I hit enter, let's see what happens. Someone said it's not available. You should see this screen right here. Solavei enrollment screens, and there's 20 some odd screens here that walk you through step by step. Sam sees it, Claire sees it, Michael says it works for him. I created this so that you could see what the screens will look like when you enroll, and then you could help your people enroll. By the way, we were talking about IMEI numbers. There's the IMEI number for an iPhone 4. So that will take you through step by step every screen of the enrollment screens. Now there's, once you've seen the welcome screen here with your member ID number, you've got to click on continue enrollment. That's where you log into the Solavei system for the first time with your username and your password. Okay, I won't take a lot of time to go through these screens, okay, because you can download those enrollment screens straight from that bit.ly. If you have questions about these screens and the enrollment, if you're having any difficulties enrolling, get on the phone with your Solavei sponsor. But you've got to get enrolled. If you can't see that enroll link, remember the enroll link that I was just talking about? Come back over here. If you cannot see this enroll link on your lane, and remember which group we're talking about here, right? We're talking about the group that confirmed before 8/27/12. If you cannot see that link, I need you to email me immediately. And in fact, I'll put my email address. Sorry for the bark. Let me copy and paste my email address right there into the chat panel for you. I need you to email me. Now, email me, of course, I would expect that your name would be in the email, but I need you to give me your sponsor's information, their email address and their phone number, and I'll help you get with them and get you enrolled. I know there are some circumstances there. I know there are people that want to enroll that can't get enrolled because their person's not getting enrolled. Okay, I'm here to help you through that process, but I can't help you if you don't email me. Next step for you, get all of your people enrolled. Now I'm talking about your people that are confirmed into your lane, that are in group number 2. They confirmed in the lane before 8/27. We went through that with group number 1. Check mark next to the box, next to their name. Get everyone else enrolled. That's option number 3. And you as well, take your focus off of filling the lane. Take your focus off filling the lane. Get people enrolled in the service. Okay. Group number 3. You've confirmed in the lane after the 27th. So in other words, as we use the bucket analogy, you're in bucket number 2, which previously meant you could not enroll in the service. Well, good news is, what's next for you? Get enrolled. How do you do that? You call your Solavei sponsor immediately. And if you can't get them on the phone, email them. And by the way, if you're emailing them, then CC me on that email. CC me on that email. Now, your sponsor has to be able to see the enroll link because they can't enroll you if they're not enrolled. If they are enrolled, they're going to use option number 3, enroll everyone else, to enroll you because you're not confirmed in bucket number 1 from the lane. That process, understand how that option works, as I was just doing on the screen. They're going to have to enroll you over the phone, or you can also use a really cool service. And Michael, I think credit goes to you for recommending this service. I'll bring it up on screen. I just talked to Jen Gallagher yesterday. She used it and absolutely loves it. And that service is called join.me. Join.me. Now, I've not used that service. Michael, I think you're here. I saw you chime in a little bit earlier. So there is free team trial, buy pro, take a tour, and walk through and use it. Dom says he's used TeamViewer with great success. Sandy says she's used it. Shelby at Solavei used it with Maggie. So Henry says it's free. Just do it. It's free, Sam says. So use that service, and you can actually then use that service to use option number 3, enroll everyone else. Yeah, Michael says the free version lets you share your computer with the person. So they're actually going to be, just understand how it works. And maybe you've seen this before with like a tech support situation or something, but they're actually going to be using your computer. You're sharing your computer with them over the internet, and they're going through and putting in their information. Okay, group number 3 then. Once you get enrolled, get all of your people enrolled. Now, this is, again, going to necessitate the help of your sponsor, and it's going to be a join.me situation where you probably want to use that option. And because you're not confirmed in the lane before 8/27, you can't enroll people yet. Okay, you will be able to in the near future, but you can't do it yet. So you'll need the help of your sponsor. Shannon says she's not understanding what the join.me does. Shannon, if you and I right now jumped on join.me, you would be using my computer. You would be filling in the form using my computer. So your mouse, your keyboard, and on your screen, you'd be seeing a screen that is my computer. Okay, that's what it does. And the idea here is that person that is getting enrolled isn't able to do it themselves. Okay. Now, when I say get all of your people enrolled, if you've been filling your lane, this is that's what I mean by your people. I mean people that are confirmed in your lane. You're in the lane, but you came in after the cutoff, so that's why you're using the option number 3 to get enrolled. So option number 3 here, or item number 3 on the list, is get everyone else enrolled. Now, take your focus off the lane and just sign people up directly for the service and get them going directly in the Solavei community. Again, take your focus off filling your lane. So group number 4, you've enrolled and you've signed up, but you're not confirmed in the lane. So what's next for you? Well, you're already enrolled, so that's a typo. So what you want to do then is you want to get everyone else enrolled. You don't have people in your lane. So you want to get everyone else enrolled. Come on, screen, cooperate. I got the blue circle. There we go. Get everyone else enrolled. Again, you're going to do that with the help of your sponsor, the person that helped you get signed up, because you can't do it yourself. Claire says use screen share on Skype. Absolutely, that works wonderfully as well. Bobby says team viewer is great too. So if you have something that you've been using that isn't join.me, then keep using that. Okay, so let's do a Q&A now. I know a bunch of you have been typing in questions. I'm going to ask you to stop with the comments, okay? Different screen sharing programs and stuff. Let's focus on questions here, okay? I appreciate your input, but I want to focus on questions. Okay, Bob says, what's the Facebook connection? All right, so you should be in our team Facebook group. If you're not there, ask your sponsor to add you in the Facebook group. And if they say, what's the Facebook group? Okay, then you're gonna have to get you in there because they're not in there. So the best way and the easiest way to get in the Facebook group, if you're not, again, is to ask your sponsor to add you in the Facebook group. Everybody that's in the Facebook group, you should be adding your people in the Facebook group on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, when you do that, it has to be confirmed, and so one of us with admin capabilities will confirm that. And it'll say that you, Greg Swift, for example, here, added a person to the group, and it asks for confirmation. Okay? If your sponsor is not in the group, then they can't add you. So then there's my Facebook page right there, facebook.com/Jerry Foster. And do a friend request of me. You could even send me a private message. And once I've accepted you as a friend, you should see the Facebook group on the right-hand side of your screen. If you don't, then message me. Yeah, I'm seeing comments that your sponsor didn't tell you. That's fine. Don't worry that your sponsor didn't tell you. I'm telling you now. Glad you're here. You just got told, okay? Let me switch over, pull up Facebook. Some people have been added to the group, and they don't know how to see the group. So let me pull up my Facebook. And you see a post there from our CEO, Ryan Wersch. And here is Solavei Success by Design group right there. So once you've been added to the group, it'll show in your group section right there, okay? Again, help me out here, Isabel. I need you to just focus on questions here, not comments. They're scrolling by so fast I can barely see them all. And focus on questions. Timothy, how do you get the pay card? The pay card will be sent to you after you enroll. Okay. Many people chimed in at the beginning of the call and said they had gotten their card, and that's how they'd gotten it. It was sent to them after enrollment. Every enrollment, Richard asked a question about, is he going to get a pay card? Every enrollment gets a pay card, whether it's a social member with service or a social member without service. Remember, the pay card is going to accomplish two things. One, that's how you get paid twice a month on the 12th and the 24th. The second thing that it does is it is going to be a card that you can use at our qualified partner merchants to be able to contribute to the Solavei bonus pool and then participate in that bonus pool. Okay, Larry asked a very good question. One of my prospects lives in an area not covered by T-Mobile. Can they still join and get paid? Yes, they sign up as a social member without service. If you haven't seen how to do that, in the check coverage screen, okay, it's for everybody, but Larry asked the question, in the check coverage screen for a social member without service, you put in 5 zeros. It's going to come back as an invalid zip code. Oh no, looks like coverage has not reached that zip code. And by the way, that can legitimately happen if someone is not covered by the Solavei network, okay? And it doesn't have to be just all 5 zeros. It could be an actual zip code that doesn't work. So they have the option of becoming a social member. Click on that link, become a social member. You have to put in your birth date and do yourself a favor, see how it says there. And believe it or not, this is the single most difficult thing about the enrollment process that I get more grief over from people than anything else. You have to pick the year first. Year first. Year first. It's even written there and people don't do it because it's backwards what we're used to, I know. Okay, so a social member without service pays a $149 annual membership fee. They must be 18 years of age, and they must have a valid Social Security number. So let's just put in a birth date that's older than 18. June 1st, 86. That's going to qualify, obviously, as being older than 18. You're in, you're off the races, and you're going through the enrollment process. And you'll see here, we use the term SMO. That's a social member without service. SMS is a social member with service. Okay. Does that answer your question, Larry? Okay, Damien brings up a very good point here, very good point. If you're going through the enrollment process and it gets to the sponsor screen and you don't recognize the sponsor, pick up the phone right at that exact moment and call your sponsor. If you don't have a phone number for your sponsor, email your sponsor and say, I'm in the enrollment process and it says here that Engelbert Humperdinck is my sponsor, and I thought you were my sponsor. Now remember, we've talked about this several times. You can reward your people with people. And I have several of you right now that are doing that. In fact, you're rewarding people with people because of their efforts and because of what the success that they've had and the fact that they're getting results. Okay, and I've messaged this several times in the Facebook group as well. It would be very helpful if you didn't just blindly enroll them under another person. It would be great if you communicated to both parties, okay? So let's say you're going to enroll Sally underneath Bob. You should communicate that to Bob. Hey, Bob, congratulations on the success that you're getting and the results. I love to reward the right behaviors. You are obviously getting the results. I want to reward you by putting Sally, one of my people from my lane, under you. Here's Sally's contact information. Could you please reach out to Sally and say hello? I recommend an email to start with, and in that email, introduce yourself, introduce the fact that you're working with your Solavei sponsor and that you're excited to be able to work with them. Here's your phone number. When can we touch base? I'd like to speak with you on the phone. Then you should also call Sally and say, and email Sally as well. Email or call her, combination of both. Hey, Sally, great news. Listen, I'm creating a great success team here with Solavei, and I was just thinking about things, and I want to pull in another person to work with you in addition to me. So good news, you're still going to be working with me. I'm still going to be helping you succeed, but also you're going to be working with Bob. Bob's going to be reaching out to you. In fact, if you check your email inbox, he may have already sent you an email. That way, when Sally goes through the enrollment process and it says sponsoring member, when it says Bob, she's not going to say, who the heck is Bob? She knows who Bob is. Yeah. Yeah, we're talk about ethics and doing the right thing and honesty and integrity. You're seeing a lot of crap out there right now of people being less than ethical and being dishonest and swiping people away. And I'll tell you, if I get wind of it, I will personally escort someone out of my organization. We're not going to play that game here. In our group, on our team, we do not do that. Okay? You dance with the person that brought you to the dance. Okay? That's bottom line, and I know people are offering a lot of sleazy stuff. And just at the end of the day, I mean, ask yourself a question. I mean, do you really want to be in a business relationship with someone with that kind of ethics? Okay, Shannon asks, who gets the incentive promotion? Everyone that signs up and enrolls before September the 10th. Okay, well, we say by September the 10th. So September the 10th is Monday, right? So by Monday night at 11:59 p.m. Pacific, everyone that's enrolled gets a free second month service and a free and a waived membership fee. Now, many of us already paid that $49 membership fee before that promotion was granted. Okay, so we're going to get that put onto our pay card. Okay, money site. What is your name? Some of you chimed in here with without putting your name. I'll answer your question, but I want to address you directly. Not sure you want to publish this IMEI code for HTC Wildfire S. Well, Dennis, so Dennis put in the IMEI number for the HTC Wildfire. Elliot, very good. So Elliot asks about enrollment screen number 10, shipping versus billing address. So let me come over here to screen number 10. And thank you, that's very helpful. We can just pull it right off of the screen there. Okay, so your order must be shipped to the same location as the billing address. Post office box not accepted. All right, so the first thing, post office box not accepted. All right, so that's easy enough. Let me change my pin color. There we go. All right, so post office box not accepted. All right, I will tell you this, that right now, if we go back a screen, is it screen, let's see, what screen? Where's the first screen you put in your address? Is that it, screen 10? Yes, so screen 10. All right, so this is your shipping address. This is where your phone or your SIM card is going to be shipped. It cannot be a P.O. box. I will tell you this. I know what this screen says right here. Your order must be shipped to the same location as the billing address. I'll tell you right now, if we skip forward to where's the screen with the billing address? There it is right there. Screen 13, lucky number 13, has the, this is the, this information right here has already been filled in from when you put in your shipping address on this screen. Right, it's grayed out when you come here. It's already filled in. And I will tell you this, I've done more of these than I can count. This address does not have to be the billing address on this credit card. So the important address to use is a good shipping address. Don't worry about the billing address for the credit card unless something's changed today, and I'm sure that it hasn't. The billing address on this credit card is irrelevant. Make sure and use on screen, what was it, 10? Make sure you use the good shipping address so that you can receive your phone and or your SIM card. Deborah asks, will PayPal be added? I'm not sure. Not sure about that. Haven't heard any discussion about whether PayPal will be added. That's Maggie asks, when will tax ID numbers be accepted? Before the end of the year. When exactly that's going to be, I'm not sure. I've heard it certainly isn't going to happen until at least October from Ryan. And I'm not saying it will happen in October. I just wouldn't look for it until at least October. Okay. And when EIN numbers are acceptable, then those of us who want to take it out of our Social Security number can put it into a entity and a tax ID number at that point as well. Okay, Don asks about Wi-Fi calling available. Wi-Fi calling is not available right now through the Solavei network, just by default. But I will tell you there is an app out there that allows for Wi-Fi calling. Michael, if you're still on here, you had told me which app that was, and but there is at least one app, if not multiple apps. Michael says Google Voice works great for that. Michael, call me, will you, sometime this evening or tomorrow and walk me through that so I can teach people how to use that. I have several people that want to use the Wi-Fi calling feature. And I've used Google Voice for a long time now, and I'm not sure how to make that work. So if you'll teach me, we'll message that out to the group. William, rather than asking if I'll answer your question, I need you to type the question again. There are hundreds of people on this call, and they're all typing in questions at this point, it seems like. Karen asks, how long does it take to receive a phone? I'm hearing a couple of days. Chime in here if you were shipped a phone and give us an idea how long it took. William says, how do I apply for a replacement debit card? Just call 1-866-Solavei. The support phone number, I'll put it in the screen here, is 1-866-Solavei. And they will handle it for you. I'm getting great feedback from people who are calling the support phone number. Hold times are long, to be expected. 65,000 people knocking on the door trying to get in. Nick says he got his phone in 4 days over the holiday. Talia says 3 to 5 days. Rod, you're asking a question about your sponsor. So we talked about that. Rod, when you go through the enrollment process, if you don't see your sponsor's name, confirm with your sponsor. And in the case of the person's name you put here, you're right, you probably will see someone else's name because he is putting people underneath people in his team. You can't put 500 people on your front line, okay? At least I would say you probably shouldn't. So yeah, so Rod, just confirm with your sponsor that the sponsor name and ID is correct. Jeff asks, does a social member without service still count as part of a trio? No. If you think about it, Jeff, you'll understand why. A trio pays out $20 a month. And if someone is a social member without service, they're not paying for their service monthly. Jimmy Shine, I see Labor Day weekend. Oh, Jimmy says 5 days or 7 days, but that was over the Labor Day weekends. So, gotcha. Courtney says, what if the person you are trying to enroll is not on Facebook or Twitter? I encourage them to get on Facebook or Twitter. Now, I have a lot of people that haven't had a good excuse to be on Facebook or Twitter, and now this is a reason to be on Facebook or Twitter. And Courtney asked about the sponsorship issue. Listen, the key here with the sponsorship is you should be sponsoring with the person that brought you to the dance, and they should automatically be populating there. If it doesn't show who your sponsor is supposed to be, or if it's someone else, then call your sponsor. Michelle asks if you can get a SIM card now and a phone down the road. Yes, you certainly can. You want to get a phone as soon as you possibly can. Maggie again asks about an SMO. An SMO does not complete a trio. So let's say, Maggie, you signed up 3 people, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Okay, that's a trio if they all sign up for service. But if Mary does not sign up for service and she's an SMO, then you don't have a trio. Okay? You have Peter and Paul. Mary doesn't count towards the trio. She's an SMO. So go find Agnes. Peter, Paul, and Agnes now complete your trio. Tony asks, how many people can you have on your front line? There's not a limit. Rod, send me an email, okay? Just send me an email. I put my email address in the screen there. Maggie asks about the people that the SMO brings in. They get paid on that. That's one of the questions maybe I didn't address when we talked about going through and signing up as a SMO. You get all rights and benefits from an earning perspective that someone else does. So if you sign up Peter, Paul, and Mary, Mary's an SMO, and Mary goes out and signs a trio, then you get paid on that trio, and so does Mary. Okay, Rod, so just confirm you're going to be emailing me. Shannon asks about green card visitors that don't have Social Security numbers. Not at this point. Vilma asks, what if someone starts out with a bring your own phone option and they get a different phone down the road that uses a different size SIM card? Call customer support. Call member services 1-866-Solavei, and they'll walk you through that. Maggie asks, what happens to the volume that the SMO brings in? They get benefit and you get benefit. Greg asks, if a new member enrolled today, do we not need to invite them to the lane? They do not need to be invited to the lane. Okay, Elliot asks, what if the system's down and didn't accept payment? Okay, if someone's in the enrollment process and they do not complete the enrollment process for whatever reason, including technical difficulties with the system, did their payment get processed? If their payment got processed, then they go to, and I'll put the URL in here, they go to myweb.solavei.com. If the payment processed. If the payment did not process, and that's the instance that you referred to here, Elliot, then you need to start back at the very beginning with the first screen. Well, you guys are cranking the questions. They're going by so fast. I wish I could freeze the screen. Jeff said he had a problem with enrolling someone because it wouldn't accept special characters in the password. Okay, I think there's directions there of what it's asking for letters and numbers and whatever. Jeff asks, can an SMO sign up for service at a later date? Yes. Will Solavei be available on Guam and U.S. territories? I expect that it will. There are legal issues that have to be worked out before Solavei can be offered in the territories. When is the date the phones go live? Susan, I'm not sure what you're referring to because the phones are live now. Dom asks, is Solavei available in Canada? Not yet. Pedro, Puerto Rico is a territory, and as such, it fits what I just said. So Jules is asking about, or is commenting here. I'm looking for a question. Is there a question here? Is there any? Okay. There's a cost in changing mobile carriers. If you switch from Sprint to AT&T, as I did in 2007, there's a cost involved. If you switch from AT&T to Verizon, there's a cost involved. If you switch from Verizon to Solavei, there's a cost involved. There's a cost involved in changing mobile carriers, and it has never stopped people from changing. People change every day. Go into your local cell phone stores and all the major carriers. There are people there signing up for service and switching carriers. It happens every day. Keep this simple. That's all someone's doing. What does it take for someone to qualify for the trip for two to Seattle in 2 weeks? Be one of the top 400 producers in the company, and the scoreboard is in the support.solavei.com. Okay, Roy asks, if someone registered their phone and didn't port their number, can they re-register their phone and port their number without losing any of their signed up members? Okay, I think there's an easier solution. So Roy, if someone did not port their number and they want to, according to Jim Ryan last week on Friday, that problem's been solved. Maria wants to beta test it. Maria Pinchevsky, head of member experience, wants to beta test it before we release that message to everybody. So I'm saying it's not 100% official yet. The other thing that can easily be done is most people are having multiple phones in their household. Okay, so when you sign up another phone, port the number to that phone, and you don't change any of the people in the system and sponsorships and all that stuff. You just carry the SIM card for that ported number in your phone. In your case, Roy, your HTC One S. Pedro asked the same. I'm getting the same questions over and over again. EIN numbers will be available to use later this year. We don't have a specific date. Joyce asks, are enrollees placed in trios automatically, or can we manually place them? You can manually place people under different people. But Joyce, the system automatically fills in the trios, and it's chronological. So if you put in Peter, Paul, and Mary, it's going to put Mary on that trio. And it's going to fill holes where you need them filled. All right, so Elliot's referring to the stall message. It says, when you're in the process of enrolling someone, if it says, hey there, we know you're excited to get started, we're building your profile, need a few more minutes, thanks. Go take a walk, go walk away from the system for 30 minutes, come back, your problem should be resolved. Rod asks about mobile hotspot capability. I've heard rumors, but at this point it's not available. And I just don't want to speculate. Okay. Peter asks, how is roaming on other carriers handled? Well, if roaming is a rare, just not an everyday occurrence, then it's handled just fine. But we're seeing some people that are trying to enroll and they're in a partner area. So in other words, they would be roaming all the time. Then the system is not letting them sign up. Yeah, Bill, there's no tethering. You're correct. That's what I said. There's no tethering, no hotspots for right now. Is Solavei available for Alaska and Hawaii? Yes, it is. Jules, obviously I can't make a policy decision. You're asking if we could change the system and change the process. Um, that's just not something that I'm able to change the policy of the way things are handled. Debbie says, someone asked if there's a $100 fee to join. No, there's a $49 membership fee, and that's being waived for everyone that signs up by September the 10th. Jeff asked when we'll be able to drill down deeper in our back office and take a look at people involved, and I would say sooner rather than later. Mark asks, so social members under you do help on Fast Start at least, just not residual? No. Mark, remember, Fast Start is all about trios. Fast Start is all about trios for that you personally enroll. Julio, the PR situation, the Puerto Rico situation is simple. Puerto Rico is not available today. It's a legal issue. Although it's a territory, it's handled differently. And as I messaged to you privately, our head of operations, Jose Rojas, is a native of Puerto Rico. He's passionately working to get this done. And as I messaged you, he said it will be available soon, just not yet. And so my suggestion to him was that we go down and do a launch party in Puerto Rico. Shannon asks about, can you set up websites? Yes, you can. Go into the share portion of the lane and look at the marketing guidelines, and it gives you some pretty easy to understand guidelines. Lee, there is absolutely roaming. There is absolutely roaming available with Solavei. George asks if the webinar is recorded. Well, I hope so. Cross your fingers. We never know until after it's all said and done, thanks to technology. But like the old Beatles song, I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm hoping my dear friend recorded this for me tonight. Michael asks, if you create more than one account with your Social Security number, will you get a pay card with each account? Yes, you will. Okay, the $49 per month is before taxes. There are no hidden fees, but your state charges taxes, so does your federal government. And you can talk to your local politician about that. But yeah, it's $49 plus taxes. Joan, you're asking a technical difficulties question. You just need to call the 1866 Solavei number, okay? Tech support issue. Rod, that is the correct email address, yes. Maggie, I'm not sure that Guam will be done at the exact same time as Puerto Rico, but we know we're rolling out to the rest of the world as soon as we possibly can. Bill, I don't know what a roll-up feature is, so you'll have to explain what you're talking about there. Yeah, Jules, that's good feedback. Send me a Facebook message on that, and I will make that workaround, little IMEI workaround available. Michael, thanks for recording, buddy. Shoot that copy over to me if you would when we're done. That is correct. Puerto Rico will have a different launch day because Puerto Rico is not officially open right now. Glad we got you with the wow there, Bill. Not sure what the wow's about, but good. Gerard, thank you. I'll let you know, buddy. I appreciate it. Justine asks about international calling and texting. It will be available in the future. Elliot said, I don't understand your comment about never receive email, never receive ID. Tony, I'm not familiar with Galaxy S3. I mean, I've heard of it, Samsung Galaxy S3, and so Google the IMEI number for the Samsung Galaxy S3 and put it in the system and see if it's compatible, or see if it's on the list of compatible phones. Jimmy, you're asking about approved flyers and banners. A lot of marketing tools are in the works right now, and anything that you want to get approved, there's an approval process if you'll just go under the share through the lane. Okay, Scott asks, can we enroll someone into the service under someone who's not yet enrolled in the service? No, Scott. If you're going to sponsor someone to another person, that person has to be enrolled into the system. And Scott, if you'll remember, we had a little bit of a delay getting you signed up because the person that you were going to be sponsored to was not yet in. So we had to get them in before we could get you in. Okay. I have not heard. Damien's asking about when will the Solavei community display the number of trios. I have not heard when that'll be available. Will the service work during international travel? Not at this time, Joyce. Tell you what will work, though, is when you travel internationally, you're using an unlocked phone, you can buy a SIM card just like I did for $12 3 weeks ago and pop the SIM card into your phone, and it works like a champ. Tony, I think that's exactly the right order. Okay, Bill asks, okay, I got to this roll-up thing. Okay, so if a member drops out, will those people that were in his group or her group, whoever the person that drops out, will they roll up to the sponsor? No, there's no roll-up. There's no roll-up. There's a bridge. So let's say, Bill, you enroll Larry, who enrolls Sergio. I'm looking at the order of the questions here, okay? Bill, you asked the question first, then Larry, then Sergio. So, Bill, you enroll Larry, and Larry enrolls Sergio. Sorry, Larry, but for using you for this example, but let's say Larry drops out, becomes a monk, and whatever reason, he leaves Solavei. All right, so Sergio, who was brought in by Larry, Sergio does not roll up to you, Bill. Sergio stays where he is. Sergio is still in your personal network, but it does not roll up. Okay, Larry says, I have several people in my lane who are pre-registered after the 26th. They do not show up when I click on Enroll Others. Okay, so we have bucket number 1, everyone that enrolled and confirmed in the lane before the 26th, or before the 27th, by the 26th, okay? You can click by their name. Everyone that confirmed in the lane after the 26th, okay, then they're in that other group, I think, as we went through there in group number 3, and you can sign them up using option number 3. Sergio, I did say that your shipping address can be different than your credit card billing address, which contradicts the sign-up screens, and I can tell you from personal experience that it's very true. Okay, Dallas. Dallas is talking about signing up someone that's in another country. Okay, so here's what can happen, Dallas. Dallas, you can create an SMO, okay, social member without service, using your social security number. You can then partner that spot with someone else, meaning this person that is in another country. And they can begin inviting people and using that spot with your permission. When the time comes that you can put that spot into an EIN number, an entity with a federal tax ID number, you do that and you sell that business entity to your international friend for $1. Okay. George, yes, you can use Google Voice calling internationally. It works brilliantly. And there's a cost involved, and it's according to what Google charges. Roy, you're asking a question about international texting. Frankly, I'm not 100% sure, so call 1-866-SOLAVEI or talk to your buddy Fed. Screen number 15, Elliot says. I see screen number 15, Elliot. What about it? Debbie says, can people that join now invite people? If they're confirmed in the lane before the 27th, you can invite people. If not, then we covered this with the screen sharing and the join.me. The person that enrolled that person has to enroll these new people too, and when they do, they'll use the sponsor ID or the phone number of that correct sponsor. Insurance, I've heard rumored will be available in the future. It's not available today. Payment card issued from the U.S. if the billing address can be different. The payment card, are you talking about the paying for the service? It needs to be, that card needs to be a valid credit card number. I'm not sure it matters where that credit card is issued. Jeff, I don't know the answer to your question. It's speculation at this point. Isabel, we can help you with that. Just send me an email. Carol asked about unlimited data. The data is, yes, it's unlimited. It's 4G speeds up to 4 gig. Once you hit 4 gig, it goes to 3G speeds up to 5 gig. And at 5 gigs, after 5 gig, it goes to 2G speeds. Okay. And let me just say that 5 gig is a ton of data. So a different Larry chimes in. What if Larry wants to come back? Joyce, you are correct. The tethering option is not available today. Okay, let me go up and look for some older questions here. Charlie, thank you for the comment. Think about what motivated you to get to this point and then create that same motivation in your invitees. Jeff says his biggest objection has been T-Mobile. That may be because of where you live there in central Pennsylvania, Jeff, and if the service is not great there, then that's sheer reality. I know of a place very near where I live that AT&T service is non-existent. Well, people aren't going to sign up for AT&T that live in that area. So that happens, but it's not for a majority. 90+% of the U.S. population has 4G coverage with T-Mobile. Scanning through, sorry, looking for questions we haven't already answered. Donna, yes, unlock GSM. Tony asked what the attrition rate is with Solavei. It'd be obviously impossible to speculate on that because we haven't even officially launched yet. Roy, a phone that holds 2 SIM cards. Never heard of it, bud. Never heard of it. So I don't know how to answer that. Steve asked about Blackberries. Blackberries do not work on Solavei network at this point. Yeah, Angela, you're asking about if there are phones other than Samsung branded phones for bring your own phones. Yes, absolutely there are. Tony asks, what's the average tax? The lowest I've seen is $2.49. The highest I've seen is $10. So I don't know. The average is probably somewhere around 5. Tony, I'm not sure what an ETF is. Can we reactivate an old phone number, Don asks. I'll tell you that once those phone numbers are released, they're put back into the pool, according to the customer service person I talked to at AT&T the other day. Sandy wants to know if she can change area codes down the road. I'm not sure what the policy is on that. It's a good question. I haven't been asked that before. Marie asks about a family plan. Will we offer a family plan? Well, we basically do have that now, where you can have up to 6 phones under one Social Security number. That is not available today. It will be available after launch. Don wants to know if it's easier to port your number if you're already on T-Mobile, and it's no different. No different than any other carrier. Michaela, I believe is how you say her name. Yeah, you're wondering if you have coverage in your area. You can just go to, I believe you can just go to solavei.com and check for service. Upper right-hand corner of the screen. Okay, I think we've about covered it. Let me go to the bottom now, see where we're at. Yeah, so we don't have a family plan per se. We have a program where you can get up to 6 phones under one Social Security number. They're $49 each for unlimited. Sounds great, Scott. Give me a call, buddy. Yeah, Denny, you're asking if your wife could sign on underneath you at a later date. Certainly she can. George is asking about T-Mobile's network infrastructure. They have huge excess capacity and 35,000 towers, and they're building out even more capacity now. Kurt asks, can new people enroll new people? Yes, we talked about doing the screen share with join.me, and you definitely can. But you're going to need your sponsor's help. Okay, good point. Good point, Damien. Go into the scoreboard and look at the scoreboard in the support section. Let's see if we can pull that up real fast. Yeah, they've got the scoreboard for the launch event to earn. Yeah, so here you go. If you want to see the scoreboard, go into support.solavei.com. Okay, everyone has access to what we call the support center, the OMS, Online Member Support, support.solavei.com. Click on the All Access Challenge, and you can earn a trip to the launch party. Okay. And so there's your scoreboard. Okay, so have some fun with that. All right, good job. Claire, you cannot buy tickets to the Solavei event. They're being given to the people that win tickets, and all the details are right there. Top 10 total network, top 25 personal network, top 400 personal network, and it's all right there. Sandy asks, what's the best video for introducing Solavei to someone? I believe it's a 6-minute video. The 6-minute video then leads to the 39-minute video as well. Good job. Go, Jaden, go. Jaden wants to get on that scoreboard. Carol asks, is the monthly pay path paid every month if the number of trios in the same is listed, the personal and all your downloads? I don't understand the question exactly, Carol. You get paid on the 12th and 24th of every month. You've got your path pay, you've got your trio pay, you've got your fab bonus, and you also have your one-time bonus as well. George asks, is the current offer to waive the enrollment fee automatically comes up when I enroll, or do I need to go to a special sign-up page for that? No. George, everyone that goes through the enrollment process before the 10th, then you're just not charged that membership fee. Michael, I'm not sure about the answer to your question, so I'll have to check on that. Message me offline and I'll find out. Okay, I've got an appointment, so let's see how we're doing on time. Let's give it another 2 minutes, and then I've got to break. Scanning through, looking for an unanswered question. Carol, just make reference to the for the numbers and how many people, how many trios, and what pay level. Just make reference to the one pager that's in the lane. It's also in our Facebook group. Yeah, Jules, you're exactly right. The compensation plan video should be the third video. The first video should be the 6-minute video. The second video should be the 39-minute vision video. And the third video most definitely should be the compensation plan video. And it really shows how the money flows. You're right, that does excite people. Okay, well, great. Well, thanks for joining in for our hour and 45-minute training. Thanks, Sam. If the world ends, will Solavei service still be available? Yes, it will, in the next life, in the next world. Thanks for joining us for the training webinar. Very excited to have you here. Remember, as we went through and identified which group you're in, if you're not enrolled, we've got to get you enrolled. And if that enroll link is not there, and you are confirmed in the lane and you do not have the ability to enroll, I want you to please email me. I'm putting my email address in here one last time. Email me with your name and contact information and your sponsor's contact information as well. Have a great night, a great week. God bless. Look forward to working with you personally, and we'll see you on next week's training webinar, which, Brett, I'm going to enroll right now, and that will be next Monday. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you in the future.